Welcome to all of you on the Limitless show, to everyone on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and even Twitter today, and my Limitless tribe. Yesterday night, our nation and this world lost a gem in the form of KK, who was the king of melody and who touched people's hearts through his timeless classics like Pal, यारों दोस्ती तड़प तड़प सच कह रहा है दीवाना. So many of them. I have grown up into an adult with his music, even attended his live performance. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about KK on the Limitless show? So I want to tell you one thing, that this show is about following your passion and purpose and growing up into your limitless self. And once you do that, people are going to remember you forever and ever, because the kind of joy that you will bring, not only into your life and others' lives, will be immense. And it's such a great chance that our very special guest for today is also a singer, a very, very melodious singer whose passion is music. And his name is Ameya Dabli. And he has performed in 1800 concerts in 21 countries so far. He actually left his, cushy job where he served as a hotshot banker for 15 long years, and he decided that he wanted to follow his passion, which was music, and he wanted to bring joy into people's lives. So he is also collaborated with industry leaders like AR Rahman, Salim Sulaiman, Subhash Ghai, Shiamak Davar, RS Mani, Devaki Pandit, Ranjit Barot, Rakesh Chaurasia, just to name a few, and has created musical content which has been exceptional and world class. He is a versatile singer and performs Bollywood Sufi, Ghazals, folk, spiritual, and soft rock. And he has also embarked on a journey of serenading the armed forces of our nation to provide them with a much needed relief from their grueling lives through his Ekam Sat Unity concerts, which is under the Mission for Nation initiative. He is also a celebrated life coach and trainer and has taught the globe, showcasing his unique music and meditation workshops for the youth. He is now on a mission of spreading smiles on people's faces through his music to help them recover from the trauma caused by the current socio-economic environment. So please welcome Ameya Dabli with a thronging round of applause. Thank you so much for joining me over here, Ameya. It's a big honor to have you.
My pleasure.
And yes, and we have just lost KK last night, and what a coincidence that you are here on the show. तो मौका भी है और दस्तूर भी है, एक श्रद्धांजलि हो जाए. केके का एक नंबर जो भी आपको पसंद हो, आप अपनी आवाज में प्लीज ऑडियंस को सुनाएं.
Yes, so जैसे मैंने कल when he passed away and it was a sudden news that I think all of us got around 11:30, 12 at night. So KK by default was known as a Yaro Ka Yar. So I think that also reflected from his songs.
Yes.
So I think one of his famous numbers of the many that he sang was Yaro Dosti. So I think मैं उसी के कुछ गाने गाऊंगा, and this is my sincere tribute to a great soul, great human being, and a phenomenal singer. So yeah. Hmm. यारों दोस्ती बड़ी ही हसीन है, ये न हो तो क्या फिर, बोलो ये जिंदगी है, कोई तो हो राज़दार, बेगरज तेरा हो यार, कोई तो हो राज़दार. यारों मोहब्बत ही तो जिंदगी है, ये न हो तो क्या फिर, बोलो ये जिंदगी है, कोई तो दिलबर हो यार, जिसको तुझसे हो प्यार, कोई तो दिलबर हो यार.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
And may peace prevail upon KK's soul, and
Yes.
may he rest in peace with God.
Yes. I mean,
So,
it's
Ameya,
something which life in general, Anshu, is so unpredictable. And until he was performing last night in the concert, and we all saw those pictures, the videos, the clips, and everything, I don't think anybody had an iota of an idea that this is something what's going to happen. I mean, there are news
yes,
reports that people give us that he was sweating profusely, or he was already suffering
yes,
from pain. All this is speculation. Fundamentally,
yes,
and I'm leading you to a question you may wish to ask me, is fundamentally the whole purpose and reason why I started and branched out from what I was doing was on the same realization that the fragility of life needs to be communicated to people and made them realize that the larger picture is far more important than petty differences or quarrels that we get stuck up in. And that is what Ekam Sat is all about. So yeah, I mean, we can continue to chat, and I can give you more idea.
yes, absolutely. We will definitely talk about Ekam Sat in our further discussions. But first thing, since the audience is new and they might not, some people might know you, a lot of them might not. So why don't you share your journey from a banker to a musician, and how passion actually was already there of music, and you are a trained singer. So please take us through that journey.
So Anshu, actually, I would say I am a banker by accident.
You broke off, Ameya. Not able to hear you. We have lost you. Okay, guys, please hold on. I'm sure he'll be back. He has a intermittent connection, and just give it a few moments. Thank you so much, guys, for holding on. Technology is end of the day technology, and it can ditch us anytime. So please be there. Just give him a few moments, and he will be back. Just give it a few moments. In fact, till he comes back, since I've heard about KK, I have been kind of okay. Ameya is back with us. One moment.
I'm at
Yes, yes,
sorry, sorry everyone. I'm at an army location, so the internet can be a little challenging here. I can't disclose where, but yeah. So anyway, Anshu, what you were asking me was fundamentally that how has the journey been?
right.
We have so I have been training since I was a child, practically since the last 37, 38 years now. And my mother is a very respected, trained vocalist. She has trained, she's a doctorate herself in music,
Mm-hmm.
and she has worked with the legendary Padma Vibhushan Dr. Prabhata Atre. So
Mm-hmm.
music is something that I've always been, listening to ever since I could comprehend words. And
Right.
but of course, we come from a very simple, humble middle class family background. So my father was a scholar himself, and he told me that Ameya, for us to be able to have a decent life, education is a must. So why don't you do this? That while you are a good singer and you can, really do music as a full-time profession, why don't you first get your education right? and then see how the career path charts out. So I completed my engineering. I finished my MBA in marketing and sales. I finished my chemical engineering, and I was uh, reasonably good in studies. I was placed from campus onto the Tata Group as a management trainee after my as my first job in after my B school. But I always
Mm-hmm.
continued to work with music and continue to sing. So in college fests, everywhere I used to sing, and I used to do a decent job by getting trophies for my institution. We represented a lot in the youth festivals through the engineering colleges all India. And then
Mm-hmm.
after about 16 years of 15, 16 years of corporate professional career, which saw me work with some of the best organizations and largely banking, where I was serving as the acquisitions head for retail bank for HSBC in South India. And then I moved into what is called as corporate banking in payments and cash management. My stint with Ronnie Screwvala was the one that I really, really cherished and admired because both Ronnie and Zarina themselves being so entrepreneurial, I was one of the executive committee members for them on their director board. And I was working with them in their Swades Foundation, which is an NGO that they
Mm-hmm.
both started as a professional NGO to serve and change the lives of 1 million people every 5 to 6 years. So, very exciting job. My job was to raise money and fundraising and corporate communications and all of those. And when I actually worked with the villagers for those 1.5 to 2 years, and I saw the working style of Ronnie and Zarina both, I was very inspired that I, I thought that my calling was something that was different. And uh, I was under the fear, I would say, of what will happen later. um, I was continuing to do what was coming my way and trying to make the most of it. But like how your talk show challenge, title is that it is a limitless activity that all of us have within us. It's only that leap of faith that we need to have.
Yes.
In 2015, I took that leap of faith and I said, no, my calling is my music because by then I had already performed in, I think, 8, 10 countries and done about 300, 400 shows. I said, my music and my messaging is what I need to spread. So that's when I decided that now is the time for me to do this. And today, here we are having a chat with you. And, you know, God has been very, very kind in giving me the opportunities that I have got, be it to serve our soldiers, be it to perform at extra, ultra luxury private wedding events, or, you name an ultra HNI within the country or overseas. And good chances are that they would have heard of me or they would have heard me sing for them in their private gatherings. So that's what I think is it. And of course, my social work is when I reach out to people and commoners like you and me, where I'm not a quintessential celebrity that you probably are used to having seeing. I would rather be known as a good human being who does great work for the people through his music. That's my real focus, honestly. So this has been my journey, and I hope and pray to God that He permits me to serve the people as long as He wishes to.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think everything is about intentions, Ameya. As you said, if your intentions are right, you definitely do get opportunities and everything gets aligned for you. So,
Yes,
no
yes.
doubt that has happened for you. So, how easy or how difficult was it? I mean, because, coming finally, I mean, you were a trained singer, no doubt about it. And you had the lineage through your mother, but end of the day you were into corporates.
Yes.
So how did you get started with this concerts and even Ekam Sat, and was it difficult or was it easy for you?
So to set up, see, so there are two parts to this question. One is, was it difficult or easy? I think the biggest advantage when you follow your heart is that even difficulties seem like a bed of roses because you are walking on it willingly, and you are kind of prepared for the challenge, or so you think. So when I started off, it's been a journey like a typical entrepreneur would have. So I'm not just a singer by itself. Because of my corporate stint, we also run a very, very established production house today. We are a private limited enterprise, which is an invested company where we have family offices who have invested in us. So we run an organization with a proper team and a setup, and we we do production. So we do content creation for the likes of Netflix, or we do content creation on digital and social media platforms, of course, for live events and live gigs. So that's the larger picture. When I started off, did I have a vision and an idea for it? Of course, yes. But like any entrepreneur will go, after I quit my well-paying job, like you said in the introduction, a cushy job, where you know that at the end of the month you have a decent fat salary coming into your account. The first 3 months of my transition saw me zero income. So after I quit in 2015, and I started my setup, for me to get to the right set of clients, get the right set of business, and transform my vision into reality, also had its share of challenges. But all along, I've really been blessed with some incredible people who have made the journey worth worth the pain. Uh, First up, of course, is my family, uh, who supported me in this. My parents largely. Um, the second one, of course, is my um, masters, I would say, or uh, the gurus that I have had, who have guided and trained me, who told me that no, you have it in you to take it to the next level. And of course, then I met. I mean, by then I had already met my business partner Purvi, who was very, very keen to join me in this mission and vision. She was still working with HSBC, and we had met in HSBC as colleagues. And she said that, Ameya, your vision interests me a lot. So why don't we, collaborate together? And she, after about 6 to 8 months, when I was able to establish the proprietorship properly, she joined me on board. So from then today to till date, where we went through this journey cycle of being individual contributors to the organization to becoming a private limited company with a board of directors on board and with a proper annual operating plan, as it's called, AOP, which is of a sizable value. I think we've got a good journey. And within this, of course, one segment is me as an individual singer who is the one who is performing. So my performance is in the larger scheme of my organization is one part, and which is what I also love doing a lot. But I also wear the other hat of being the CMD of the organization, where under which we also do learning and development, which is where my B school training or my corporate training, where I was involved in L&D for HSBC, is involved. So it's a very diverse portfolio we manage. On the one hand, we have the whole shebang of production houses and the glitter and the glamour of the world. On the other side, we have these uptight senior corporate executives who come and train with us on learning and development project programs. And the center of it all is, of course, our thought of serving people, where we do these concerts, which are through our music with a message objective for the army or for common people or for corporates that we do. So that's in a nutshell the journey that has been so far.
Amazing, amazing. At any point of time, I mean, in those 3 months that you were struggling with, no money coming into the bank account, did you ever think about kind of giving up and, getting back to the corporate world?
So to be honest, the thought of whether I have done the right decision did cross my mind, whether I've taken the right decision, but I don't think I ever thought of going back. So much so, I will tell you, the COVID pandemic, like many of us, it hit us very hard because live events were totally shut.
Mm-hmm.
So large part of our business or my performances was under a scanner, and we had a huge debt to kind of. So one of the largest concerts ever that happened in Mumbai was on 29th of February 2020, which is
Mm-hmm.
precisely 23 days before the Honorable PM announced the lockdown as a
Right,
preventive measure for, was a concert which was with me and AR Rahman performing together in Mumbai in Geo. 10,000 people,
right,
and phenomenal. So uh, when a concert is of that size, while you make a lot of money, because you also had an organization to put together, you also have
right,
debts. And because the pandemic was the pandemic, people who would never call me up and say that, hey, can you please give us money, were in dire need of money. So even in that situation, we were very, very fortunate that we sailed through. We got all our debts cleared in lockdown. And today we are a profit making, profitable enterprise as the books were closed last month. So the reason I gave you this example was that not just in those 3 months when I started off, when the going was tough, but also being established in the last 7, 8 years, challenges can come to you from any place which you least even imagined. But
Yes.
the character is when you are able to stand your ground and say that no, no, come what may, I will try to sail through. But the only way, Anshu, I'll tell you, and I'm sure many of us would have experienced this in the lockdown, especially, even the ones who are not so spiritually inclined, is that the only thing which is in our hand is really to only do our best.
Yes.
The rest is only done by an unseen force. Some call it God, some call it destiny. I call it grace. And I am a strong believer and a firm believer of grace
Yes.
and blessings, and I have
Absolutely.
Lord and God. But uh, until you have grace, until you have the blessings of the people who matter and someone up there,
Yes.
it's not possible to do what you have to do.
Absolutely, you're bang on. I totally agree with you, Ameya, when you say it's grace, because no matter what we think of ourselves, sometimes we forget that, we are actually not in control of anything at all. We
Yeah,
can only do our work and leave the rest to that unknown force, who some people call God, universe, whatever name. Name can be anything, but there is someone who's running everything. And
correct,
if we do not have that grace, nothing can happen.
correct.
And I mean, that is basically the intention. With your intention, with your vibration, you pull that grace towards yourself. I think grace also comes to
I
you.
would like to say this, Anshu, to you that I have met two extremely beautiful souls whom the world calls as spiritual leaders. Since my
Hmm.
childhood, my father introduced me uh, to the world of spirituality, and I'm eternally grateful to him for that. So I have met
Okay, we are again not able to hear you, Ameya. Your internet is really very
Is it okay?
intermittent.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just saying that one of the key exponents of Bhagavad Gita was Swami Chinmayananda. So I
Hmm.
used to attend his lectures, lectures and his classes since a very young age. And then I met the two gentlemen that I'm going to talk about. One was Dada Vaswani, who was a spiritual leader of the Sadhu Vaswani mission, and
Yes.
one was the founder of Art of Living, Pujya Gurudev Singh.
Right.
These two really transformed the way I function at the core. So the grace or the belief or the faith or whatever you say is a large contribution to the learnings or teachings that my parents and these living masters have given me. So that's for me.
Totally. Totally. And thank you for sharing that. I think it really, makes a lot of difference, because people need to know what are these things, because sometimes we are directionless.
Yeah, see, we're directionless because we feel our ego is so heavy, Anshu, that we feel that we are the only ones who can, not only, we are the ones who are capable to do anything. So one is
Yes.
self confidence, then one is self respect, and one is ego. Ego is, if you handle it correctly, is what propels you to achieve. For example, I may
Hmm.
be deeply spiritual and realize that this world is just but a dream. Like KK passed away last night after a great concert. Nobody knew. But so that is reality of life. Anything is
That is the
possible.
reality of life. Yes, yes.
But if you have the right set of ego and propels you, says, I want to achieve as an entrepreneur, I want to have my company to go from point A to point B. So if any entrepreneurs are listening to this, there is no conflict between spirituality and entrepreneurship or wanting to achieve money. People always mistake this that, oh, if you're following a spiritual path, should you have a life of your own? Should you have personal life? Should you have indulgences into physical activities, should you pursue monetary gains? Answer is of course yes. The only thing you have to always realize in doing this, because see, today if I'm running an organization, at least 100 people are indirectly dependent on the way we behave. I am answerable in my karma to those 100 souls who are having their faith in me and my leadership along with my partner and our organizational setup. So if
Yes.
I don't train and channelize my energies and my ego in the right sense, where it is inspiring to me and not something that impediments me and says, I am somebody, I have arrived in life, you need to treat me in XYZ way. No, we have to understand, and this only happens through grace. And hence, I'm again and again saying grace, Anshu, because unless you have the grace of a living, enlightened master to tell you that, hey man, you are not the doer here. It is somebody
Yes.
who has planned this for you, and you are only an instrument to do this for the benefit of others. Your ego will take you on a trip, your mind will take you on a trip, and you are dead. Before you know, it is like you see, in our profession, in the music field, there are so many singers who come ahead and suddenly they disappear because somewhere
Yes.
the singer goes in the head.
Yes.
So that's huge. That's just thought I'll share with you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Ami, I just wanted to check with you. Your voice is not very clear. You are breaking in between, and I'm sure audience
Let's
must be facing the same. Is it possible that you can change the internet to maybe some hotspot if the Wi-Fi is not working? I know you are in a defense setup, so
I'll get, let me just check again. Am I still being cut?
yeah, yeah. Your voice is constantly getting cut.
Oh, I see.
It's
Okay.
not smooth at all.
Okay. Just give me a second.
If the yeah, maybe you can change the internet. Okay, guys, just I'm giving you a little background of why this is happening. You might be wondering why Ameya is not in a proper place with a proper connection. He's come on this show and why this is happening. So, I just want to take you a bit in the background. So, what is happening is he does a lot of concerts for the military, the defense people, to, basically cheer them up and give it back because they are protecting us all throughout. And he is right now in one of the defense places. He is in the military setup, and that's why his net is not so proper. Even
Better
his
now?
video is not that proper. Yeah.
I've now shifted to a new, different connection.
Yeah, fine.
Is it better than before?
Okay, even now you did get cut.
Okay. Now I am on a very, very strong network. So ideally, it should not get cut, hopefully. But I'm
Okay, so
really
we
sorry.
will continue with this. No issues. I mean, I understand. So I was telling the audience about it as well. So
Yeah.
they also know what is the background to it.
No, I had a half a thought that I should postpone today's uh, meeting when you requested me for today's date. I thought I will change, but I am on the road now for the next 1.5 months. So then I
Wow.
will take a date of 1.5. So today was my free day, and tomorrow my concert start. So I said, might as
Right.
well do it today and not postpone it.
Yes, yes, great. I think this is better. I think this
Yeah.
sound is better. So
Okay, great.
I want to ask you, I mean, we have been now talking about grace, I understand. So how was it affiliating with these stalwarts like AR Rahman and Ranjit Barot and Shiamak Davar and all these people? Because, I mean, when you were still in your corporate career, had you ever thought that you will be actually collaborating with them someday and giving these concerts?
So to not sound very pompous, I think I was very clear that I wanted to make a difference. In what way, I didn't know, and I don't think I have still even reached 0.01% of what I think the Lord can help me achieve. But I always had this thought that I need to do something different. So when I used to do my shows earlier on, when I started off as a rookie, I
Mhm.
have chorus singing for the longest possible time you can imagine. So I used to attend concerts, and I used to request a lot of these singers that, sir, doesn't matter, please let me just come for your concert and let me just give you chorus. Because every step of my singing has been a journey where unless you go bottom up, so much so that at times the main singer who used to sing, I used to lift his chappals, I used to set his mic, I used to set his chair, I used to set his gadda if it was a classical show. If it was a standing show, I used to set up, ensure, and nobody used to tell me this. I used to do all of this out of my vision or desire, I may say, to learn. So today,
Right.
I do my concerts and gigs. I think I'm extremely well prepared to know how I want my setup to be. So for me, hence it is easier to guide my team, who is my technical engineer or my FOH engineer, front of house engineer, or my stage monitor mix guy, or my sound and light guy, or my lights engineer, that this which is exactly what I want. So did I envision collaborating with an AR Rahman? The answer to that is yes. I wanted to collaborate with people who had a passion for music with a message, and I think
Yes.
the Saab ke saath, the meeting that we had through his team was something that I felt well connected with him, which is why we did that show with him. Same has been the case, in fact, with so many. In fact, after my mom, my guru has been Devaki Pandit, and Devaki Pandit is I mean, she's a legend. If you talk about Marathi classical music or even Hindi, would you know that song from Shah Rukh's film "Ae Kaash Ke Hum Hosh Mein
होश
Ab
में
Aane
आने ना पाए, हाँ।
Akela, Hazaron Mein Akela," the female parts of those songs have been sung by Devaki in playback, and this was 20 25 years ago. So she is a legend. She chose to sing classical music because she is a student of the late Kishore Nitai Amankar. So my first legendary association happened with my parents, and then when I met the enlightened masters, for me the definition of legends transformed and changed totally. So now today, I mean, I have been fortunate enough to even sing for the prime minister and the honorable president
Right.
through private events, and they have attended my live shows. But the good part is even they don't come across as somebody who you will be really bogged down by. And the
Right.
same was not there when I collaborated with Ranjit Bhai or with Rahman Saab or with Salim, who's a dear friend, or with Shiamak, who's also a very, very good friend and a great human being. And the list is endless. There is Pandit Rakesh Bhai Chaurasia, Niladri Kumar. We've collaborated, performed together on all those shows. R.S. Mani, who's the composer, Ritam, even you name it, Jonita, we have performed together. So all these
Amazing.
are contemporaries in this field, and the good part is most of them are great human beings and value their craft very, very well. So it's just easy to collaborate, really.
So the basic, I think the crux of what you're saying here is you become great by the humility and the grounding that you have. Because
Absolutely.
greatness never comes from ego. It never comes from there.
Anshu, I have met a lot of people in our industry who feel greatness is their birthright. दो गाने hit हो जाते हैं and people get them popular, and people tend to feel that they have arrived in life. I only look at such people and say that God bless you, that you're not realizing what you're doing right now, because a lot of it is also destiny. I feel, and they chose to be where what they are, and they have got their success. But I've really seen some very close examples where I have seen people who, until they got success, were always wanting to seek help and always asking for work, and suddenly when they've got success, they distance themselves from you, um, or rather they show attitude. It's a it's a thing which I think is cognizant of all businesses, whether it's music or arts or play or craft or cinema. But that is where, like you said, grounding is critical, because you never know. Today's peak can be tomorrow's trough.
Yes. You're
So
right.
you just have to be the more, it's like this. In a case of storm, the trees that are the most upright and hard to bend are the ones that are uprooted.
Yes,
The blades
always.
of, but the blades of grass, which are absolutely humility personified, are the ones
Right.
who bend and let the wind and the storm pass.
Yes.
So if you have to be a blade of grass, the choice is yours.
Yes. So true. So true.
Yeah,
How beautiful. So, when you talk about music with a message,
yeah.
what did you mean by that, and were you seeing any gaps in that?
See, today I personally believe that there is space and scope for all genres of music. See, our
Right.
country has transformed in the last 75 years so much. And why 75? I mean, from the first Bolpat that we got, Bolpat is talking movies of Raja Harishchandra, as
Mm-hmm.
far as India is concerned. Music has been an integral part of our cinema also.
Yes.
If you go before that, all our saints, all our communication through the kings also used to be in the form of a melodic announcement that used to be given to make people and people in general aware of what
Right.
is happening. So music has always been about messaging. Now,
Yes.
like when you uh, you might have heard the song "मैं बन की चिड़िया बन के बन बन डोलू रे," which was
Yes.
sung
Yes.
by
Suraya, I think, right?
the late Ashok Kumar ji himself.
Yeah.
Now, those were the days when every song had a meaning.
Yes.
Today's songs also have meaning, but they represent the nature of the generation that. For example, a simple song like "Char Bottle Vodka, Kam Mera Roz Ka." Now, yeah, apna time aayega. I am not criticizing their lyrics. I am nobody to say that. Neither am I criticizing their genre. But that is what some of the set of people want to listen, which is also music with a message. But I choose to give music with a message which appeals to my conscience. And my conscience tells me that if by singing हर करम अपना करेंगे ए वतन तेरे लिए दिल दिया है जा भी देंगे ए वतन तेरे लिए is what appeals to my conscience. Or a romantic song like आओगे जब तुम हो साजना अंगना फूल खिले बरसेगा सावन. Or some of what popular Hindi film songs have also got like अभी मुझ में कहीं बाकी थोड़ी सी है जिंदगी. Now these are songs
Amazing.
that appeal to my
Yeah.
conscience. There are
Yes.
songs that appeal to other people's conscience. Uh,
Right.
and if you just step one step back,
Hmm.
that's why in our music and history of our country, you have different music styles to represent different times also of the day. For example, in a romantic mood, nobody is expecting you to sing a bhuprag which is sung in the morning. So your Navaraska part, which is Shringar Ras, is very beautifully explained by the songs that Asha ji has been singing in her career all her life. Um and on the other hand, you have exactly somebody like a Lataji who has immortalized "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo" and that. So music by itself is all encompassing. So messaging through music has been going on forever. My
Yes.
messaging through my music is the second part, which I enjoy the most, which is about some kind of awakening to the people, some messaging that a parent or a family may want to sit with their child and guide them of how to live life, or the youth or the youngsters of how they could be fearless and face uncertainty. That's what I feel is my calling, and hence that's what I do.
Beautiful. In fact, so you were talking about Ekam Sat in the beginning, and we were supposed to talk about it. So you started this Ekam Sat with the concept that one truth, one humanity. So where did you get the inspiration? I mean, why armed forces specifically?
So it's actually not only armed forces. We have started off with armed forces. And the reason we've started with armed forces is because I think that's one of the most thankless jobs that they have. And I'll say
Yes.
thankless why? Because as citizens of this great country, I know all of us have India in our heart. I don't doubt even a single person out of the 1.35 billion that we have across religion, across culture, across caste, across sex, across gender.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody probably at some place in their heart has something to do for the nation. Some point in time, may not be all through. But the only thing we limit ourselves to is to change our display picture on our Facebook or on Twitter or on our Insta handles or on our WhatsApp on 26th Jan and 15th August. Other than that, we are very limited in our expression of gratitude towards these people. I have been fortunate to travel to more than 50 garrisons in the last 5 years, right from Jammu Kashmir, right from far flung locations, where I've seen the life of a Jawan from a very close quarter. And we don't make noise about it. We don't talk about it too much. We don't do pomp and show that I do these shows for free. I don't charge a single penny to the army. Whatever income I get, part of it I donate to all this cause through my Ekam Sat Foundation, because I feel this is my moral duty. There are good people who and companies who donate money to us to come to conduct these activities. But the inspiration for Ekam Sat, if you ask me, was so Ekam Sat essentially is music of, I would say, music for the soul, where we studied the works of Kabir Das, Tulsi Das, Guru Nanak Dev, Khwaja, Mirabai, and these legendary poets and writers, Amir Khusro, who have walked on our planet. And I thought that what better message than what they have always been giving, and put it together in a musical, which is composed by us, arranged by us, and in a fresh form, and present that to people. So that's what we have been doing, and we've done professional shows, picketed shows for this, and we have had enormous success. So I said, what I'm giving to the people, I should give the same to our forces, because they don't have access to all this. They are at
Yes.
far flung locations.
Yes.
They have limited access. So how
Yes.
can I? And I feel that if every Indian decides that I want to do something for my forces, my soldiers, इन देयर लाइन ऑफ प्रोफेशन अगर हम कुछ बदलाव लाने की चेष्टा करें, तो आई थिंक देश अपने आप बदलेगा और सुधरेगा। भाई सुधरेगा, आई मीन कि और उन्नति करेगा। अभी भी सुधर ही रहा है, बट और बढ़ सकता है, और कर सकते हैं। जैसे इफ यू एज अ ट्रेनर वाज टू contribute in your way to train, let's say, 5 orphanage oriented kids, you are transforming those 5 lives in your own way, in each other's capacity. If we are to do something for our country without anything expected in return, I think we have lived our life.
Absolutely.
That's my belief and philosophy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what a beautiful thought that bringing Mirabai and Kabir Das ji and all these phenomenal people who have given us. I mean, I have no words because I remember I used to begin my mornings with them with वो कबीर दास जी के दोहे लगा दिए and I would be doing my work and बैकग्राउंड में वो दोहे चल रहे हैं. What a phenomenal thing, but I think that's not something very commonplace. आज की जनरेशन तो इनफैक्ट जानती ही नहीं है मोस्ट ऑफ देम.
वही तो करना है अंशु. The whole idea is, you know, um, if you just listen to what we do, you will be blown away. Not because we are great, but because the so we practiced, for 6 months. We closed ourselves in a room, and my team of 25 musicians, we used to practice every single day, and once a week we used to meet to perform and put the music together. We've got over 100 of these songs that we do at different events, and it comes from here. It doesn't come from here, because it's all hard, because the idea is to give. And whenever the idea for us is to give, like for a mother, she doesn't expect that her son or daughter will give something in return. That's why she loves him or her. She loves her or him because she wants to give love. So in anything that we do, if that is the objective, the output is invariably nothing but phenomenal. So
Yes.
the youth today, they need to learn how phenomenal Kabir Das ji was. I mean, his simple Tukaram Maharaj, for example, from Maharashtra, or some lines of what Amir Khusro has also written, or something which Ma Andala had written, the writer has written up north, or I mean, there are such phenomenal uh, works of art, I would say, that are available for us, which unfortunately we've today's youth feel sometimes, I feel that, being not uh, by not following a tradition. For example, if you're a believer of Hinduism, or if you're a believer of Sikhism, or if you're a believer of Islam or Christianity, that's your religion by birth. But spirituality is beyond religion. Spirituality is upliftment of the soul. It's about
Yes.
what. So, despite of being a culturally born Hindu, I love Sufi music. I love to praise Khwaja Garib Nawaz and sing for him. Similarly, I know of so many culturally born Islamic singers who sing the praise of Lord Ganpati. So, by fundamentalism, we are. I mean, by not fundamentalism, by fundamental nature as a nation, we are nothing but Ekam Sat, which is one truth, because we are human beings. So, how can I, as a musician or as an entrepreneur, bring all of this in a congregated effort of him of music and present it to the world is what Ekamsat as a mission is. And we've just about started. So we have registered an IP. For the last 5 years, we're running this. It's a trademark registered IP. We travel the globe with it. We perform wherever we are invited. And through our foundation, we run the initiatives for the Army, Navy, Air Force, CRPF, paramilitary, and the likes. And we conduct these programs. So this year we are on the roll to do Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and the plan is to reach out to 75 such locations and perform for our men and women in uniform.
How beautiful. So would you like to actually, आप कुछ गुनगुनाना चाहोगे out of any of these people,
Yeah, why not?
because our
One,
youth and our people must not have heard so much of it.
yeah, no. So I would love to. Yes, of course. Why not? So Kabir Das ji का एक बहुत ही बढ़िया दोहा है, which goes with your theme also. And I was going to sing something else before, but since we spoke about it, I think I'll sing this. So it says, "Hmm, hmm, मोको कहाँ तू ढूंढे रे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में ना मूरत में ना तीरथ में ना एकांत निवास में ना मंदिर में ना मस्जिद में ना काबे कैलाश में ना काबे कैलाश में खोजी होए तो तुरंत मिल जाऊं एक पल की ही तलाश में कहत कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो मैं तो हूं विश्वास में मैं तो हूं विश्वास में सो मोको कहाँ ढूंढे रे बंदे मैं तो तेरे ही पास में कहाँ हूं मैं यहां वहां नहीं मैं विश्वास में हूं इफ यू हैव द फर्म बिलीव दैट आई एम विथ यू देन आई एम विथ यू यही हमें
Yes.
भगवत गीता में सिखाया बचपन से यही हमें सारे गुरुजनों ने आदरणीय गुरुजनों ने सिखाया है बस यही तो हमें लोगों को जगाना है वो जोत उनमें ऑलरेडी है it's like the candle in the wick is already there you just have to go and go with another candle and light that
Light it
fire
up.
within that's it
Yes.
that we are ready to shine bright.
Yes, absolutely. So, Ameya, I also just want to share. I mean, when I started this Limitless show, I also had just same thing in my mind
Yeah,
that everyone is limitless. It's just that we do not realize we are constantly looking at others and getting bogged down by our
comparison,
circumstances.
worry,
Yes. And
absolutely.
it's just that they need that one flame, a small flame that comes to them and lights them up and tells them that, you always had it in you. So
Absolutely.
that was the purpose behind the show. So
No, it's
how
phenomenal.
beautiful.
I'm very happy that we connected, and all thanks to our common friend here, Alpa,
Yes.
who has been so sweet in putting this together. So I'm glad that you found me suitable enough to have you on your show, and I'm grateful to you for that.
Absolutely. I'm honored to have you. I love having people who have purpose in their lives and who are living a life of purpose and passion and, something meaningful.
Right. Yes.
Not just, वो दो रोटी कमानी है और जीवन जीना है. The life should not be spent in that rut.
Yeah, because see, Anshu, uh, for those people who don't believe that there is a higher force, you meet a lot of people who say, "I don't believe in God" or "I don't believe in any higher power." The fact, just come to think of it, that the fact that you breathe every single second, not out of your choice, but out of somebody else's plan.
Yes.
Your body has over 270 bones, which you had no role to play in making. Your digestive system works on its own at a different point in time. Your mother gave you her milk when you were born without nobody telling you in the language that we speak in. You knew what you had to do. There are over 30,000 types of bacteria on your forehead. There are more than zillion types of bacteria in your stomach and intestines that run the show for you, and there is a whole colony in there. and the whole world is for you, which is only giving you. The sun doesn't ask you for any money. The rains don't say you pay me in my bank account and only then will I fall. If this is not a miracle, and if this is not a belief that we are so insignificant and the only purpose that we can have is give back, what else will awaken us to do something meaningful in this life? I don't understand. So, I mean, I'm glad that there are some people who believe in it, and for the rest, maybe their time is yet to come.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Maybe if not in this life, God knows how many lives, but till the time we learn the lesson, we'll keep coming back. That's for sure.
We have to do our job of doing what we need to do.
Yes. So I think Ameya, as you said, ki with your adventures, I mean, you are also doing kind of life coaching and training where you have gone to different countries, and with music and meditation you have tried helping people get out of stress and a lot of such things. So now, how did that come into the picture? I understand you're helping corporates and startups. I think you are mentoring startups also. So a
So,
lot of things, a lot of variety of things actually.
yeah, so whatever, Anshu, whatever I learned on my job when I was working, I kind of assimilated all of that and chose what I felt I could be decently good in contributing, because there are so many great organizations who do consulting full time. You have the big four, you have great L&D organizations, you've got great people like Stephen Covey, you've got so many Indian speakers, motivational speakers, spiritually motivating speakers who do a great task of educating people. Um, the diversification has really come from my personal experiences, and then we have built onto that. And
Mhm.
music meditation is something that we started with a which is called as mental metal. Um, is that how, see, ultimately everything that we and we, you must have read, and a lot of our viewers and listeners might have read it, that what Paulo Coelho wrote, in his book Alchemist, that everything is a perception of, our world is a perception of what we perceive. I mean, it's a not a it's a reflection of what we perceive. Sorry. So if I perceive that I'm one of the greatest souls to be born, with a lot of humility, and my goal purpose is to serve this um, beautiful nation, or the beautiful world and people all over the globe and outside, whatever it is, then I'm very clear that my objective is first to do this, and incidental would be money, name, fame, uh, travel, lifestyle, etc. That's secondary, right? That's not the that's not what I'm chasing. I'm probably chasing my goal of delivering what I have to deliver based on my limited knowledge. So if I am able to do this, I thought that with training, learning, and development, which I trained for in L&D in HSBC, or with
Mhm.
Ronnie also, and even in my college days, I used to be a mentor to the student mentorship program.
Mhm.
And as a reader, as a young guy, you read up things, and it's more of life experiences. And of course, now we have an L&D wing in the organization where we have learning and development executives who tailor make programs, and we collaborate with some excellent speakers and trainers, and we deliver corporate programs to corporates. So that's one
Mhm.
wing that we do. And the other bit is the mentorship of the startups, because it's like this, it's like if you watch a great movie, you want to share the story to everybody. So it's like that, your startup journey, whatever hardships you have faced, you kind of want to inspire and motivate people and say, hey, just hang in there, don't worry. Worst situation kya, you it will not click. So life doesn't end there. You can have
Life is
another idea. And I'm
yes.
so glad, that the Honorable Prime Minister has, imagine having a startup ecosystem which is now throbbing, and people are actually looking forward to be entrepreneurs, because jobs are only going to be as many, and automation is going to eventually lead to a lot of mechanized
Yes.
jobs. So if the
Yes.
youth, after doing engineering or MBA, or graduates also, are able to get into the field of their own choice, then the kick of being able to give birth to something of your own, which unfortunately men can't understand by nature because we can't produce. The only similar joy you can get, which I'm sure a woman probably gets when she gives birth to a child, is that when you are starting off on your own as a journey, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling to be able to contribute something.
Yes. So true. So, what kind of, I mean, when you combine this music and meditation together, have you seen some, amazing results emerging out of it? What kind of things have you seen?
So I will give. So TCS was one of our clients that did one of our workshops. Just what 6 years ago. And the reason I'm giving you an old workshop time and not a recent one is because uh, now it's like a proof of the pudding is there. Hence, we're getting more business. But TCS was one of the first ones when we started, and it was something that we did for them, where it was a bunch of about 200 of their trainees were joined across hierarchy, and they said that we want you to design and curate a workshop for us, which will get these trainees after their traditional uh, corporate workshop, if one may call it, into music. I said, can I try an experiment? Can I uh, try something? So I said that after my session, which is about 1 hour, just tell me how your state of mind was before you started and after it has ended. So I did my bit, and I took them through a journey of musical journey of songs, and I ended it. And by the time we started, there were 200 souls, 200 people with a question mark on their face that what is he going to do? And it was in a great auditorium that TCS has in Thane, one of the training centers. Uh, to a mind which had pin drop silence when we ended, not even a clap, uh, which was great for me because they were just unwilling to get off their seats. They just wanted to have more. So
Experience.
experience more. So it is like an experience. So we then extended it to a way where we are now trying to map it that how, if through these dedicated sessions, can we see like a brain mapping activity? Can we see a sustainable increase in productivity of these people if they undertook some kind of this kind of a workshop for let's say a period of 3 or 6 or 9 months through very focused interventions. So we have already developed that module, and it's ready and it's proprietary. So we will be starting that. I mean, we were to launch it 2 years ago, but because of COVID, we couldn't do it. So these kind of great experiments we are trying to do in this field, which I'm certain will create some good results.
Amazing. All the best.
Thank you. No, thank you.
So, now what message do you have for people? Because I know for sure, I mean, you were also so talented and trained, and then your father said that no, you need to study, you need to, do your higher education, and
Yeah,
that's what you did. And then
yeah.
later on, you decided that you wanted to come back to your passion. For the people who know it early on, that they have certain traits and they want to really follow that, what do
I
want
think
to tell them?
if you know what you have to do early on in your life, you're very blessed. You can, today 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds are building unicorns in the entrepreneur space. So I think if you look at it from a proper business angle, I think you should just follow your heart. For people who are in the field of performing arts, I think sky is the limit. The only thing I will say, and I'm not a great, uh, I'm saying it with a lot of humility, I have not achieved anything in life, honestly. I'm just on my own journey, and all of us are. Don't compare yourself with the journey of others. Don't go after the glamour and the glitz of the show called showbiz world. It's all temporary. It doesn't last you long. Yes, aspire for it, aim for it. If you get it on the way, enjoy the success without it going in your head. But if you chase that, you will be missing out on a hell of a lot of things in life, where you will forget on missing out and forget and miss out on living life itself. And given the fragility of life, more important is to live your own life. Respect your elders, show a lot of love and respect to your parents, to your family members. Don't get into silly arguments with people. Learn to forgive and forget. And most importantly, when it comes to business, put your nose to the grindstone. Business is through the head, it's not only through the heart. But do your business with a heart as well, but with a complete acumen of a businessman. There is no charity in business, and there is no business in charity. But you have to be humane. So, I mean, I'm not some messiah to give out messages really, but this is what I have kind of assimilated in my own journey so far, and that's all I can share.
Thank you so much. So, I think I already have the answer, but still, it's a signature question of the show. And I would still want to go ahead and ask you, do you believe in the limitlessness of the human spirit? And
Totally.
if you do, then who, according to you, is limitless?
Every single soul which is present on this planet, including the tiniest of creatures who we don't know exist, are limitless, because the whole universe is itself limitless, and we are just but a part of this limitless vast creation. We are only able to communicate in a set frequency that we know each other of, because we are
Yes.
in this body shape and form. But as humans, we are of course limitless. Sky is also not a limit really. So learn to respect the limitlessness in every individual when you kind of converse with them, or when any individual or any living organism, I may say. Respect respect the creation, and we will be surprised with what the creation gives us back.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ameya. So we come towards the end of this first round,
Yes.
and we'll quickly begin our next round, which is a very short round, just 5 minutes.
Right.
And I'll ask you some questions which
Sure.
requires just one liner, one word answers.
Sure.
Okay. So what stood out for you in the Ambani Piramal wedding?
The humility of both the families.
Okay, amazing.
People talk about the grandeur, which was, of course, for everybody to see. But at the bottom core, I know both the families very well. Phenomenally traditional, phenomenally humble, phenomenally grounded on their roots, and that's the reason they are successful.
We already spoke about it, I think, the first thing at the
Yeah.
beginning of the show, right?
Yes. Yes.
How many items do you have in your bucket list, and what's the next one that you're ticking off?
Well, honestly, I have no bucket list, but the only one dream that I have, which my Gurudev has given me, is spread smiles to the faces of as many people as you can. So that's actually limitless because we're just so many people. So I just pray to the Lord that He permits me to do that, and allows me to do that as long as I can.
Beautiful. Are you a foodie? And if yes, then what is your most favorite dish?
I'm sure the ones who are watching me will know for a fact that I'm a foodie. Uh, yes, I am a foodie. I love all cuisines. My favorite, uh, I mean, there are so many, honestly, but honestly, because of my kind of travel, uh, I really crave for home cooked food, and in that, my mother makes some amazing rotis. We call them um, tipodi podi in Marathi. It's roti, and she makes some amazing, simple pitla in Maharashtrians we have. So pitla podi is what I crave when my mom makes it. Means you name anything, and I can eat it.
Amazing. What is the stark difference between your career as a banker and now as a singer? What is the one thing that stands out for you?
One word answer: fulfillment. When I was a banker, I was not contented enough, not because of the money, but because of what I was doing. Today, what
Right,
I do, there's a lot of fulfillment and a sense of gratitude that finally I'm able to do what I think I can do,
right.
uh, I should do.
Yes, absolutely. Who has been your biggest inspiration in your life?
Um, Inspiration in the sense of somebody who has guided me, it's not one, it's my parents, really, both of them. I've seen how we all started our journey, um, from a small uh, one room in Bandra. And we came from a very decent family, by the way, in Nagpur. My dada was called as Srimanta Sardar Vishnupant Dabli. But my father, being a man of principles, uh, came to Bombay, started his life at an age of 21, and tried his best to make his families meet because he lost his parents very early in life. So there were six siblings, and he, along with his elder brother and sister, took the responsibility to raise the remaining ones. So I've seen those days when Dad used to ensure that we all were extremely happy, and my mother complimented him in such a beautiful way. So I think nobody better than them to inspire me. None at all.
Hats off. Who would you want to be born as in your next birth?
I think I'm pretty happy with what I am. Given the situation, if uh, God chooses me to be born this way, I'll be happy again. Of course, I hope it's a revised version, like a version two, with some added features. But I'm very happy with what God has given me.
Right, right. What do you like doing in your free time?
Right now, honestly, I hope that I read a little more. My travels are not permitting me to catch on to that hobby of mine, and I'm just also wanting to focus a little more on being able to do my riyaz a little more. I'm able to spend only about an hour every day. If I was able to do that for 2 or 3 hours, I think it'll help me a little more. um, unless of course I'm performing, because when we do rehearsals for 8-10 hours, so then the riyaz automatically happens. But otherwise, yeah, these are the two things I would love to kind of uh, add on a little more.
Right. Which is your go-to song when you are down?
uh, Actually, when I have been down, and I've been down a few times, um, I think it's helped me to just meditate a little more than just a motor song. But so the motto line I have is, yes, you can do it. So when you're down and out, uh, and that's something that I also. So by the way, you may not know that, but I have also been a marathoner, where I have run three half marathons. Uh, in about 7-8 years ago, I used to run regularly. So
Mhm.
even during that time, when you see the finish line 21 kilometers away, you don't know what to go. So you just keep telling yourself, "Yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it." So, but I like one of the songs that I like is हाँ यही रास्ता है तेरा तूने अब जाना है, हाँ यही सपना है तेरा तूने पहचाना है, तुझे लक्ष्य को पाना है. I love that
Right,
song by, I mean, sung by Shankar Bhai. So I love that
right.
song.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Beautiful
Yes.
one. How would you define Ameya?
Simple, humble human being, often not understood completely by the person interacting with, um, because of the complexities that I exhibit as an individual, is what I feel. This is my
Yes,
judgment.
absolutely. Should be your definition, however you feel about yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
And you are also a trained Sanskrit vocalist, and you can recite the complete 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita with ease. So, why don't you recite something of your choice from any chapter?
So, uh, Sanskrit vocalist means not Sanskrit singer. Vocalist means somebody who's learned Sanskrit. The Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses, as you would
Right.
know, and 18 chapters. Each chapter defines the journey of an individual, and the kashmakash, or the turbulence, if I may say, that goes into our life. Um, in which the two chapters that usually stand out are the 12th chapter, which is Saguna Bhakti Yoga, and the 15th chapter, which is Purushottama Yoga. Um, these two chapters really are, I would say, what is a bedrock of what every child who follows the Bhagavad Gita, across whether you follow the religion or not. But there are many who even read the Bhagavad Gita despite of not being a Hindu. These two chapters really are something that I would really urge every human being to. Both have only 20 shloks each. Very easy to recite. So the 15th one is a little complex, where it talks about ऊर्ध्वमूलमधःशाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रबालाः अधश्च मूलानि अनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके and so on and so forth. Basically, this talks about how can an individual become an Uttam Purush. Purushottama Yoga means how to become an Uttam Purush. And Saguna Bhakti Yoga or Bhakti Yoga as it's called on the 12th chapter is how can you get bhakti within you, which is something that you can do as a surrender to the Lord. So it's a vast topic. Gita pe to yaar, matlab, I am nobody to talk. But this is what it is, and not just the Bhagavad Gita. You have for simple things like in our scriptures, actually music and everything is considered under out of the four Vedas. Sama Veda is something that talks about music and musicalities,
Right.
uh, and even in that within the same realm of Sanskrit is also so there are 16 sanskars as you would know in we Hindus in our belief system have
Right.
sanskar, where the 15th sanskar is wedding. So isme bhi, which is why when I do these corporate events or private weddings that I perform at, a lot of times I see that the boy and the girl are just not aware of what they are getting into. तो शादी में क्या करना है ये भी नहीं पता. तो that's what we tend to do, that we kind of educate and recite and chant. So, I mean, I'm just glad that my parents taught me this at a very young age. And 4 o'clock in the morning, I used to get up with my dad, half asleep, cribbing, crying, cursing him that you have no other work but to trouble me. But he persisted, and I'm so glad he did. And I used to recite and learn this. Yeah, he still does that to me, by the way. But yeah, that's okay.
And that's why they are so inspirational, right?
Totally,
When they
totally.
give you, let you be in your comfort zone, you would not be the person you are.
So even today, I just had to do something for my dad, and he said that I want to first see. So it doesn't matter to him that I'm a chairman and managing director of a company, that I do ABCD things and I have people who I guide. He says, no, you need to first show me what you have drafted. I will approve it, and then you will upload it. I said, okay. So that's how it is. So that's reality, and that's a good reality to have.
Yes, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, when you actually sit down and think about it, it feels nice that you are a child to someone. We
You
all
know,
long to be a child
you
somewhere
know,
in front of someone.
you got a very interesting topic here, Anshu. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji, and there's so many people who must have heard his talk, and there are many such wonderful speakers. He says that if we are childlike all throughout our life is easy because as a child you are so fearless any which way, and you have no boundary. No, a child knows no fear because he knows my mama is there to take care of me, or my father is there because somebody is there to take care of me.
Yes.
I mean, you just cry, and without telling anybody, the food came to you, the diapers came to you, the
Yeah.
cycle came to you, and everything came to you. So, if we are
Yes.
childlike innocence, I think life is beautiful.
Yes. Undoubtedly. Great. Thank you so much. And any last message that you want to give to the audience before we bid them adieu?
The only message I can give really is in the quest for achieving something, let's not forget to live life. That is what matters the most. And that, in my belief, is being truly limitless. Because if you live your life with the belief that you are limitless, you will automatically live your life and not constrain yourself by A, B, C, D, E, F, G things. You will just be in your own centeredness and achieve whatever you wish to achieve in life.
Yes, beautifully put across. So don't worry too much about the destination. Enjoy the journey while
Absolutely.
you're on it because
All of us
you
know
do
it.
not know.
ऑल ऑफ अस नो इट. थियरी सबकी पक्की है, बट प्रैक्टिकल में सबको तकलीफ होती है, मुझे भी होती है. तो वो बार बार रिमाइंडर देना पड़ता है कि
रिमाइंडर
भाई
देना पड़ता है.
जिंदगी को जीना सीखो. झगड़े, स्पाउस के साथ झगड़ा, बच्चे के साथ झगड़ा, माँ बाप के साथ झगड़ा, कजिन्स के साथ झगड़ा, मुझे तुम्हारा ये पसंद नहीं, वो नहीं, प्रॉपर्टी के झगड़े, भाई क्या है, सब यही छोड़ना है. नथिंग इज गोना गो विथ यू. but we just don't realize it. We want more and more and more without realizing that nothing is enough other than you yourself. Jaan hai to jahan hai.
Yes.
So
Thank you so
that's what.
much.
Most welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on the show. And I hope I have done justice to your belief and faith in me. And
Absolutely, absolutely. I had the most, I don't know, most focused and very, very interesting and deep conversation with you. And I think it would have left a mark in the audience's mind as well. If they actually, I would actually request them to look through it again.
yeah, I think even if one person is inspired by what we have discussed today, life is made. We don't need
Absolutely.
8 billion people, 7 billion on the planet to listen to it. That also they will listen eventually. But even one person is inspired by something that we have discussed, God is kind.
Yes, our work is done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and all the best for the 1.5 months of
Yeah. I
concerts
hope
that
we,
you're doing.
I hope people who are inspired would love to join us and kind of join in the mission, not just by paying money to the foundation, but by contacting us or by being a volunteer or whatever way they wish to. I think it's a great. It will be a great thing if anybody is inspired to do that also.
Absolutely. So all the links were shared in the description of the post. And
Okay.
if they just, want to get connected in any way, they can try getting connected through any of the social media platforms or the websites. And
Absolutely.
they'll be there. Yes.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anshu. And it's a
Thank
great,
you.
great. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good. Good. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Hey, people. What a beautiful evening, as expected, right? Full of melody, full of spirituality, life experiences. And so true, isn't it? That we need to lead our lives one day at a time. Enjoy this journey while you're still there on it. And I want to leave you today with one beautiful, since we were talking about Bhagavad Gita, I just remember this shloka from Bhagavad Gita, which gives me a lot of strength when I'm down. And it goes like this: तज धर्म सारे एक मेरी ही शरण को प्राप्त हो, मैं मुक्त पापों से करूंगा, तू न चिंता व्याप्त हो. So we keep worrying about so many things that we cannot control, but our work is only to do our own karma. If we just do that with the best of intentions and efforts, the rest can be taken care of by God. So God bless you. Be limitless. I'll meet you next week with another phenomenal guest. Bye bye.